Is real estate photography a good way to make money in 2024? It's probably the question you're asking yourself, and that's why you're watching this video. And so I wanted to kind of open back the curtain and give you the best info that I can as someone who's been in this business personally and owned a business in this industry for the last 11 years, done 10,000 plus real estate photo shoots, not myself personally, but my company, really more than that, probably multiple 10,000 at this point. And I've seen all sides of the industry, right? I've built my own business when I started as just a solo photographer, built it up to the point where I hired my brother, we came on as partners and started scaling our business. We hired 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10, 12 employees, photographers in this business. And we've seen a lot. Not only that, I've coached people in this business. I've helped thousands of people get into this via my content and courses, and hundreds of people do it very successfully with coaching that we spend our time on now. And so I'm gonna break down some different categories. We're gonna be talking about lifestyle. I got my list here. The gear you'll need, the photography experience you have to need, how to look at your city and market and determine if it's a good fit, how long it takes to actually get started and how long it takes to make money, and what it looks like to own a business, right? I think a lot of people have a mistaken or just not complete view of what that actually means. You know, when you talk to someone about starting a business, there's a lot of advice out there that basically is saying starting a business is risky. And a lot of people are like, it's a make it or fail type thing. And I think in a lot of businesses and a lot of different types of businesses, it can be. You know, if you start a company selling a product, there's a high chance that just could fail and people wouldn't like the product. But there are different type of businesses, right? There are different types. There's kind of 3 categories. There's service, product, and manufacturing. And the thing that I heard someone say, which I absolutely love about this, is manufacturing is the hardest, selling a product is the second hardest, and starting a service business is the easiest. And that's what real estate photography is. And so the first thing I would say is if you are thinking about starting a business, starting a service business is going to be the least risky of them all, right? And there's not no risk. You have to risk your time, but you're not risking a lot of money, and it's not this big make it or fail. You don't need investors. You can keep it really simple when you're starting. So that's the first thing I would encourage you to consider if you're starting a business of any kind. And I think, and I'm very glad that my first business was a service business, figuring out how to sell a product, because the only thing you really risk is your time. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into the specifics of each of those categories. Number 1 is the lifestyle of a real estate photographer. Now, here's what I would say is 100% true. If you're like, Eli, I want to get into this business, I want to start some kind of business where I have the freedom to travel whenever I want, I'm going to tell you that real estate photography probably isn't the business for you. Or at least it's not going to be at the start. When you scale your business like I have, I don't even live in the same state as my business and I can travel all I want. But at the very start, it's going to be up to you to actually go out and do the service, right? You need to be able to go take photos of homes for sale. So if you're wanting to live on the road, probably not the business for you. That being said, if you're willing to work in your own area, obviously you can take vacations and you're like, hey, I want to work for myself. I want to have a great business that has the potential to make me money. I think real estate photography is a good fit. It's one of those businesses that's easy to start when you currently have a 9-to-5 as well. Let's say you're first starting and you currently work a 9-to-5. Well, you can, let's say you make 5, 6, 7 grand a month. You can replace that income on the side before you ever quit your job. And that's something I highly recommend doing because it's a lot safer that way. Yeah, there are those people that want to just go all in, quit their job and make it happen. And we've coached those people and a lot of them are very successful. Just for me, that's kind of a stressful way to do it. And so when you transition into being a full-time photographer, I think the lifestyle for me personally is amazing. You get to pick when you want to shoot. If you don't do shoots, you're obviously not making money, so a lot of people end up putting in the work, but that's okay because you're getting paid for it. It's your own job. You don't work a 9-to-5. If you don't want to work Tuesdays, you don't have to work Tuesdays. If you want to work the weekends and make extra money, you can, and if you don't, you don't have to. And the even cooler thing from a lifestyle perspective is not only can you make great money, we've seen solo photographers max out usually like 16, 18K a month, which is pretty good as a job, where you yourself, without employees, can make 16 or 18K a month in revenue. It's pretty good from that lifestyle perspective. And also, your job is never in the same spot every day. So I'm a guy that likes to have stuff to do. I don't like sitting in my house all day. And so I like the chance that I get to go out and shoot houses and see cool places, and I'm always kind of moving in that sense. Now, as a solo photographer, I absolutely love the lifestyle. And then when you scale your team, obviously it's up to you. So if you want to scale a business, like my business, for example, the lifestyle can be whatever you want it to be. I could have an office for our team. We don't. All of our people are remote. We don't have an office. You live in the areas where they take photos. And the lifestyle for me is I can live wherever I want. But I could also, if I wanted to, have an in-person office and work every day. And I did that for a while. And so it gives you that flexibility there. But the biggest thing from a lifestyle perspective is the lifestyle of owning a business is always going to give you more freedom than the lifestyle of having a job. Now, freedom is relative. Some days you really have to work. And when you're first starting your business, if you want to make money doing this, you got to put in the work. But I think it's one of those things that it just is better to own a business and do well in your business than it is to have a job for most people. And the next category is the gear needed. So if you're first getting started, you're like, do I have to buy $30,000 worth of gear? And the answer is absolutely not. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I don't like spending money on gear. And I talked about how service businesses are low risk. And this is one way they're low risk. You need like $500 to $1,000 worth of gear to get started. And if you have a camera, you can probably make it work. You just need a wide angle lens. My full gear kit will be linked below. But as far as startup costs and gear needed goes, real estate photography is very, very low investment. And I actually I personally recommend spending as little as you can to get your business started, because you got into this business to make money, not spend it. Now moving on to photography experience, you may think, hey, if I'm gonna start a photo business, that's really risky if I've never been a photographer before. And I actually think it's harder a lot of times for successful photographers to start a real estate photo business if they like the art and they're really invested in the art side of things than it is someone who has no photo experience. So at my photo business, we can train our photographers in 2 weeks or less from zero experience. We hire a lot of people that are servers or bartenders, or they work jobs like that and they're in college, or they just work a number of jobs and they're looking for an awesome job. But the key thing here is that the vast majority of them do not have photography experience. And that's also true with the people that we coach. Many of them don't have photography experience, so don't think you need to go put in the years and get the experience, because that's just not a mindset that's actually true. The one thing I say about real estate photography is there's every other type of photography and there's real estate photography. And real estate photography is way more scientific, and that doesn't mean it's complicated, it just means there's a right thing to do and you do it over and over and it's simple. Whereas the other types of photography are much more art-based. And so I'm not the most creative guy. I like that. I like putting my creativity towards the business side of things and figuring out how to make money with this. So if you have photography experience, you're gonna be much more familiar with the camera and you're gonna be able to dive right in. You just have to be careful not to let the artistic side of you make it so you make less money, because I don't want you to be a starving artist. That's not why I make these videos. I want you to make real good money as a photographer. And then if you're coming into this without photography experience, don't use that as an excuse. Don't let it slow you down. If you wanna go more in what that looks like, there's a workshop link below. You can watch like an hour video where I break down the industry and show you how to get into it. But don't let the lack of experience stop you. Now, the next thing is the city and market that you live in. Now, this one you have to do a little bit of research on, and if you're really serious about starting your business, that's one of the things we do when you apply for our coaching program, is we literally look into your market with you and make sure that it works. Because the way coaching works is we actually have a guarantee that says, hey, if you do this list of things that we're gonna have you do, and you don't get to this point, and that point is determined by talking with you in your specific market, we'll return a portion of your coaching investment to you. And so in order for us to be confident enough to do that, we have to look into your market with you. But if you don't wanna do that now, totally understand. Here's what you wanna look for. You want to look for a population within a 1 hour radius of above 50,000 people. If it's more than that, you're pretty much good to go without too much extra thought. Now, when we look into it, we also look at number of listings and everything like that. If you're under 50,000, you definitely need to talk to our team, because it can be kind of hit or miss in that case. Now, the other thing with market consideration that a lot of people really take into account is like, is there too much competition? And the other side of the equation is, hey, there's nobody here that uses a professional photographer. Both of those things you have to not worry about. That is your brain trying to feed something to you to protect you, but it's just an excuse. And the way that plays out is, if you're in a market where there's a ton of competition, right? Well, the good news is you just have to be better than them. And most photographers are so focused on the photography thing that you just have to be good at customer service and care about your clients. And the market has already showed you that it's willing to pay for real estate photography. So it's really easy to break into that market with high competition. And the other side of it is, well, if no one uses a professional photographer, you don't have to compete with anyone, but you have to convince someone to pay for real estate photography when they might be taking photos with their own phone, which is filming this. I was just trying to grab it. Either way, that's also easy to break in, because all it takes is 1 or 2 agents starting to hire a professional, and the rest will follow. Now to the really big question: if you start today, when should you expect to start making money? And I'm gonna break this up into 2 categories. Number 1 is if you do it on your own. Most people, it's gonna take them at least a few months to start making $1,000 a month. It could even be more than the first year, especially if you just don't really know what you're supposed to be doing next and you're not following any kind of roadmap. Now, I obviously have a lot of videos posted here on YouTube, so that will give you an advantage. But overall, I went at it on my own, and it took me like 2 years to have my first $4,000 month. And that was completely stupid. That was because I wasn't smart enough or humble enough or all of this stuff together to go find someone who's already done it and try to learn from them. And so that's actually the reason I started my coaching business. You know, they say a lot of entrepreneurs solve problems that they had. And so when we were building coaching, we're like, well, what would Eli have needed to make this happen faster? Because you should absolutely grow your business faster than me. If you're in coaching, nobody really makes money the first month because it's all about setting up your business, but you want to see the second, third month starting to get some shoots. And if you're doing everything by the book, you should be getting a minimum of like $4,000 to $5,000 a month by the end. But of course that depends on you, and we can't just blanket say that to everybody. We need to talk with you, see what your market looks like, and give you a specific recommendation. As far as how fast you can go with coaching, it really depends on how much of what we say you actually do and how well you do it. And obviously that's our job to hold you to that. And like I mentioned, we have a guarantee in our coaching program, but generally what we see is people finishing the 6-month coaching program between $4,000 and $10,000 a month in revenue. Now, obviously I can't tell you specifically with you because I don't know your market. I don't know where you are. I don't know how much time you have. And that's exactly why we have the option for you to book a call with our team and talk about that. But what you can't do big picture, whether you do coaching or not, whether you work with us or you do anything else out there, you don't want to start a business when you're down to your last few dollars. You need to be somewhat stable. And it doesn't mean you can't make this work quickly, but if you're counting on this business to make you $3,000 this month to pay rent, it's probably not going to happen. Starting a business is about being consistent and about putting in effort. And there are things you can do that will help you, obviously, like having a plan in place and knowing what you're going to do and setting things in your calendar to do at certain intervals. You're making sure you're getting them done, but it still takes time. And so don't start this as like a last ditch attempt to make yourself better financially. And the last thing is, how much money can you make as a real estate photographer? Like, what's the top end? Well, what we've seen is that solo photographers usually max out between $16,000 and $20,000 per month in revenue, and they'll average about 20% in expenses. So as a fully booked solo photographer, we see people earning anywhere from 13 to really 18K a month in take-home income. Now that's as a solo photographer, and that's when you're fully booked. The sky's the limit though when it comes to scaling your business, and that's one of the things I like about real estate photography. My real estate photography business, which is toward the scaled side of things, runs by itself with a leadership team and photographers, will do somewhere between $90,000 to $100,000 this month in revenue. But if that sounds big to you, it's not, because I personally, and you've seen him on my YouTube channel, know a guy named Todd who does 3 or 4 times that in monthly revenue. And we also know people, Todd and I, that do well above that. And so the cool thing when you own a business is it's up to you. You can scale it as far as you're able to scale it. There's no upward cap. And that's one of the biggest benefits to me about owning a business is I get that freedom to not only do what I want and control my schedule and control my life, but also I don't have a cap on my income. And so it is up to me if I want to grow my business to that level. And I think that's really cool and really exciting for a lot of people. And so if you're someone that's motivated by freedom and the ability to make more money and be able to go out there and make it happen, then starting a business is absolutely going to be a good move for you. You just want to make sure that the business you're starting aligns with what you want. And I hope this video cleared up some of that for you and maybe gave you some clarity into if real estate photography is the business that you want to start. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.